والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Please repeat after me. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Inshallah, for short tilawat, I would like to request Hafiz al-Qari Muhammad Tufil Sahib.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها. قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها. كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها. صدق الله العظيم.
Subhanallah, that was Hafiz Tufail who was doing tilawat. Inshallah, for short, 2-3 verses of Quran, I would like to invite Muhammad Qasim.
درود شریف پڑھیے صلی اللہ علیہ یا رسول اللہ وسلم علیک یا حبیب اللہ. نعت سرکار کی پڑھتا ہوں میں، نعت سرکار کی پڑھتا ہوں میں، بس اسی بات سراحت ہوگی. ایک تیرا نام وسیلہ ہے میرا، ایک تیرا نام وسیلہ ہے میرا. رنج و غم میں بھی یہ نام سے راحت ہوگی. اور یہ سنا ہے کہ بہت غور اندھیری ہوگی، قبر کا خوف نہ رکھنا اے دل، قبر کا خوف نہ رکھنا اے دل. وہاں سرکار دو عالم کی زیارت ہوگی. حشر کا دن بھی عجب دیکھنے والا ہوگا، حشر کا دن بھی عجب دیکھنے والا ہوگا. زلف لہرا کہ وہ جب آئیں گے، زلف لہرا کہ وہ جب آئیں گے، پہ قیامت بھی ایک اور قیامت ہوگی. نعت سرکار کی پڑھتا ہوں میں، بس اسی بات سے گر میں میرے رحمت ہوگی. ایک تیرا نام وسیلہ ہے میرا، رنج و غم میں بھی اسی نام سے راحت ہوگی.
Subhanallah, that was Muhammad Qasim reciting beautiful naat in the praise of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For Manqabat, I would like to request if Muhammad Sufyan can come forward and recite Manqabat. Nare Takbir, Nare Risalat, Sana Khani Mustafa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As I said yesterday, we all need to say Subhanallah as much as we can. No mouth should be still. We should all be praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So just to warm you up, let's say Subhanallah. We can do better than that. Come on, say Subhanallah. Spread very sharif. As I said, keep saying Subhanallah. And if you know the words to this, then pray with me as well and join me. Sallallahu alayka ya Rasulullah. Wa sallam alayka ya Habib. Just a couple of verses. Manqabat Sayyidina Imam Hussain radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. As you know, our guest speaker, our honorable speaker is here already, so I'm going to keep it short, giving him as much time to give us his emotions and his feelings, inshallah. Mere Hussain tujhe salam, mere Hussain tujhe salam, mere Hussain tujhe salam, mere Hussain tujhe salam. As-salam ya Hussain, as-salam ya Hussain, as-salam ya Hussain. Kar liya nosh jisne shahadat ka jam, us Hussain ibn Haydar pida ko salam. Mere Hussain tujhe salam, mere Hussain tujhe salam. As-salam ya Hussain, as-salam ya Hussain, as-salam ya Hussain. Jinko jo kisi kufे बुलाया गया, जिनको बैठे बिठाए सताया गया, जिनकी बाई को ज़हर पिलाया गया, जिनके बच्चों को प्यासा रुलाया गया, उस हुसैन इब्न हैदर पिता को सलाम. मेरे हुसैन तुझे सलाम, मेरे हुसैन तुझे सलाम. अस्सलाम या हुसैन, अस्सलाम या हुसैन, अस्सलाम या हुसैन. जिसने हक करबला में अदा कर दिया, अपने नाना का वादा वफा कर दिया. जिसने हक करबला में अदा कर दिया, अपने नाना का वादा वफा कर दिया. जिनको दिलों से चैनी कराया गया, जिसकी गर्दन पे खंजर चलाया गया, उस हुसैन इब्न हैदर पिता को सलाम. मेरे हुसैन तुझे सलाम, मेरे हुसैन तुझे सलाम. अस्सलाम या हुसैन, अस्सलाम या हुसैन, अस्सलाम या हुसैन. मेरे हुसैन तुझे सलाम, मेरे हुसैन तुझे सलाम. अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
Subhanallah, that was Muhammad Sufyan who was reciting Manqabat in the court of Sayyidina Imam Hussain radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Now, I would like to invite our guest speaker, honorable guest speaker for tonight's program, Sahibzada Maulana Sayyid Talha Shah Bukhari, inshallah. Nare Takbir, Nare Risalat, Nare Tahqiq, Nare Haidari.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين. الصلاة والسلام على من كان نبيا وآدم بين الماء والطين، أجمل الأجملين أكمل الأكملين، سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأهل بيته وإطرته وأمته أجمعين. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. وقال الله تعالى في مقام آخر: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم وصل عليه. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأهل بيته وأمته أجمعين. میرا حسین باغ نبوت کا پھول ہے. 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 The reason why we say Imam Hussein is the flower of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is because Rasulullah himself said that these two, pointing at Imam Hussein and Imam Hassan, these two are my flowers. And that's why Ala Hazrat in another place he has said Zahra hai kali jisme Hussein aur Hassan phool. And the shair here he says Mera Hussein baag nabuwat ka phool hai. The easy words, I'm sure you can all join in with me. Mera Hussein baag نبوت کا پھول ہے. بولو بولو میرا حسین باغ نبوت کا پھول ہے. میرا حسین باغ نبوت میرا حسین باغ نبوت کا پھول ہے، حیدر کی اس میں جان ہے، خون بطول ہے، حیدر کی اس میں جان ہے، خون بطول ہے. Throughout the Waqia of Karbala, you see the facsimile of Hazrat Haydar Karrar, the Sher Khuda, the line of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is found in the life of Imam Hussein radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And you can tell that facsimile of the father and son is so similar, where Imam Hussein could have taken rukhsa, and we will explain what rukhsa means in a minute, the easier path. He said no. He said, would I be the son of the line of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if I took the easy path? This is the faith that he had. You know, he said, how can I leave the people of Kufa who are calling me? Would I be the son of the line of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How would I face Nabi Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on the last day? You know, these were things that when you read the Waqia of Karbala, you realize how much power and how faithful Imam Hussein really was. And the Shairi says, حیدر کی اس میں جان ہے، خون بطول ہے، حیدر کی اس میں جان ہے، خون بطول ہے، حیدر کی اس میں جان ہے، خون بطول ہے. گزرا جہاں جہاں سے نواسا رسول کا، گزرا جہاں جہاں سے نواسا رسول کا، اب تک وہاں خدا کا کرم کا نزول ہے، اب تک وہاں خدا کا کرم کا نزول ہے. ایسی عظیم ذات ہے مولا حسین کی. What does the شاعر say? ایسی عظیم ذات ہے مولا حسین کی. Talking about the shan, talking about the rutbah, talking about the loftiness of Imam Hussein. Look at this. ایسی عظیم ذات ہے مولا حسین کی، جس کے لیے حضور کے سجدوں میں طول ہے، جس کے لیے حضور کے سجدوں میں طول ہے. The hadith Pak is so beautiful. The companions are reading salah behind Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And look how beautiful this. Look, if it should be a namaz, it should be the namaz of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They're reading salah behind the greatest messenger, the greatest person to ever be created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mine and your prophet, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The companions are reading salah behind Rasulullah. They fall into sajda. They realize Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has not lifted his head, his blessed head from sajda. And some time has passed. The companions are thinking, what could be the reason? The companion, he says that one of the reasons that I thought of is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is blessing his wahi upon Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then he thought that the second reason could be that al-ayadu billah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He says that some time had passed and I couldn't bear but lift my head and look at Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is during salah, the companion is saying this. This during salah, the companions is saying this. Tell me those people who say that thinking about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in salah nullifies your salah. These are the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam who are reading, reciting, praying behind Rasulullah, and their dar madar of their salah is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The tawajjuh of their salah is towards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, I lifted my head to look why Rasulullah has done taweel in his sajda. He has elongated his sajda. And I see Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein playing on the back of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, this is, brothers, could you put the noise level down a little bit? Please. I can't hear myself. I don't know how these people are going to hear me. This is the companions reciting salah behind Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And they know that their salah, their sajda, their qiyam, their ruku, everything is dependent on that person, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nothing else matters but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were thinking about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Their khayal, and these are narrated in Bukhari, Muslim. If anyone has any doubt, I will show you these hadith mubarakah where companions are thinking about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, and they say that how can we think about Rasulullah in our prayer? You know, it nullifies our salah. Al-ayadu billah. Are you stupid? Do you have a brain cell? Our salah is for the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then now look at the opposite side. That this is the salah of the companions. But look at the salah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That he elongated his sajda. The muhaddithun and the mufakkirun, they mention that the greatest maqam in salah is the sajda. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam elongated his sajda for Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. No? The greatest maqam in salat, many of the ulama mention, there are some various scholars who mention it's qiyam. Okay, there's a bunch of scholars who mention that qiyam is the most lofty maqam in salah. But the vast majority of scholars mention that it is sujood. That is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on Yawm al-Qiyamah will also fall in sajda. And whenever the Prophet would fall in sajda and do dua, istajib ilallah, he would do dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He would fall in sajda. You know? This is why the ulama mentioned that sajda is the most important and the loftiest maqam within your salah. And here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is elongating his salah for Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. You know? They realize that Imam Hussein is playing on the back of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And this is why Rasulullah, it's easy whilst you're praying salah and your child is in the way and he is preventing you from praying salah. It's permissible to move him out the way. Hatta ke a mother, if she realizes that her son is in danger, she is allowed to break her salah and to take the child out of danger and then resume the salah. But here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not move. He did not move. He stayed in that position for Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. You know, so this is why the Shairi says, ऐसी अजीम ज़ात है मौला हुसैन की जिसके लिए हुजूर के सजदे में तूल है मेरा हुसैन बाग़े नबूवत का फूल है मेरा हुसैन बाग़े नबूवत का फूल है हैदर की इसमें जान है खूने बतूल है और जिसके लिए यजीद ने लाखों सितम किए वो ताज तो हुसैन के कदमों की धूल है वो ताज तो हुसैन के कदमों की धूल है दुनिया में और कौन है
शबीर के सिवा ऐसा सवार जिसकी सवारी रसूल है, ऐसा सवार जिसकी सवारी रसूल है. After doing the hamd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the dhikr of the greatest creation to ever be, and reciting a manqabat on Hazrat Imam Ali Maqam Imam Hussein radiyallahu ta'ala an, I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first and foremost gives me the ability and the tawfiq to speak the haqq and nothing but the haqq, and He gives me the tawfiq to reiterate the words of the awliya kiram and the ulama din. May He also bless us with the iman of the companions and the iman of the Ahlul Bayt. And this is one of the greatest things you learn from this lesson of Karbala. The amount of faith the companions and the Ahlul Bayt showed is something that is mind-blowing. Now, I spoke about something which is rukhsat and azimat. How many of us know what this means? Rukhsa and azima. These are two terms which are used in fiqh, in the Islamic jurisprudence. Now, when a matter arises in Islam, you generally have two things. Or generally in the usul of fiqh, or in fiqh, you have two things. You have rukhsa and you have azima. You have the easier path, and then you have the tougher path. The path which puts you through some difficulties but gets you to the end goal. For example, when one is fasting in salah, okay, fasting in the month of Ramadan is fard. Speak to me so I know that you're listening. See, this for me is a lesson. You're learning and I'm learning. Yes? So speak to me so I know that you are listening and you're understanding what I'm saying. You have the month of Ramadan where the fasts are fard. They are compulsory in the month of Ramadan. Now, if someone is traveling, does he have to fast? No. Because the Sharia gives him this leeway that if one is traveling, he can make his fast up afterwards. Yes? Now, if one is traveling and he does not fast, this means he has taken the path of rukhsa, meaning the easier path. It's still jaiz, it's still permissible what he's done, but it means he has taken the path of rukhsa. However, if he's traveling and he fasts whilst he's traveling, and he takes on the trial and the tribulation of fasting whilst he is traveling, because sometimes you may face some difficulties. You can travel, you can fall into a situation where there is no water, nothing to drink. You know, there's chances that his fast may get elongated, etc. and stuff like this. So, knowing this, if an individual fasts whilst he is traveling, this means that he has taken azima. He has taken the more difficult path. And the ulama mention that if one takes the path of azima, he will get double the thawab of the path of rukhsa. Yes? Is that understood? Because in rukhsa you have free will, you have free way. You can do as you wish. You have permissibility of fasting and not fasting. So you take the option of not fasting, which is easier. And generally a lot of people in today's day and age would take that option. However, this battle of Karbala, this narrative which took place, this waqia of Karbala, this was something which Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala an had the possibility of taking the path of rukhsa. But what did he say? He said, how could I take the easy path? how would I stand before my beloved grandfather and answer to him when he says that my ummah asked for your help and you turned away? That my ummah pledged allegiance to you and they asked for your help, but you turned away. You know, the topic of today is about the Chronicles of Karbala. Okay? Now, what happened in Karbala? Now, you have to remember there are common misconceptions which are revolving around the narrative of Karbala. One of the common misconception is that Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, went to battle with Yazid, la'natullahi alayhi. That he went for battle. Now this is a common misconception. He did not go to fight for kingdomship. It's narrated in many books that Imam Hussein went with how many members? 72 family members. In one narration, it is mentioned that there was 20,000 enemies waiting for him. 20,000 enemies. And these enemies, they had swords. They had, they had camelbacks. They had horsebacks. They had shields. You tell me which sane person would go to war with 72 members. And within them 72 members, there were female members. There was children. Children from the age of 6 months. Suckling babies. Hazrat Ali Asghar, the son of Imam Hussein, was still suckling. He was still drinking the milk of his mother. How can you say that Imam Hussein went to fight for his kingdomship? It's a nonsensical argument. It's something that you cannot make. This is something which has been demolished by the scholars of the Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Imam Hussein left with 72 members. And within them 72 members, there were family members, there was female members, there was children, there was youth, there was ill people. And Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anh, he went for the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the rida of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil, I'm having to chop and change the entire narrative because we don't have much time. And to be honest with you, talking about the narrative of Karbala, if you have a series of maybe 3-4 hours, even that I don't think would do justice to it. Because the narrative of Karbala is a very ilmi topic. It has a lot of politics from the side of Yazid that intertwined in the entire narrative, that intermingles with the entire narrative. Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala an, cutting it short, sent Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil. How many of us know who Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil was? Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil was the cousin. He was the cousin of Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala an. And remember, amongst the Ahlul Bayt, Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil was amongst the Ahlul Bayt. He was from the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Okay? Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil went from the order of Imam Hussein to find out what the people of Kufa are like, what they want. At this time, Yazid had gained kingdomship. He had gained power. The people of Kufa kept writing to Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And they would say, oh Imam, Yazid is he's being unjust to us. He's doing things against the Shariat of Islam, come and help us. These were the futuhat, the letters that Imam Hussein was receiving by the people of Kufa. So Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu, after discussing with the companions, he sent Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil to find out what the situation of Kufa is like. And it's narrated in the books that when Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil went to find out what the people were like, They had welcomed him with open arms. They had welcomed him with open arms. They had realized and they had felt that the Savior is here, that Imam Hussein is taking action, and that he has sent Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil to find out what the situation of the people of Kufa is like. When Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil had seen that the people are welcoming and that they are pledging allegiance in the hands of Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil, he had sent a letter to Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And he had sent a letter saying that the people of Kufa are really welcoming and they are waiting for your arrival, and they have pledged allegiance with me for you, Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So come. At this point, it is mentioned that 40,000 Kufiyun had pledged allegiance in the hands of Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil. 40,000. That's not a small number. Kufa is based in Iraq, since central Iraq in fact. And Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil, when he had seen that all these people are pledging allegiance in my hands, he straight away sent the good news to Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Now at this time, Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu was being foretold by his companions that the people of Kufa are untrustworthy. It's well known. And there is a saying amongst the Arabs that Kufi la yufi, that the people of Kufa are not wafadar. They are not trustworthy. This was an infamous saying about the people of Kufa already. Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala an already knew that his martyrdom was going to be in Karbala. He already knew of this point. This is why some of the ulama, they have i'tiraz with the shair, jisko Kufe, jisko, what's the shair? Jisko doke se Kufe bulaya gaya. They say that Imam Hussein wasn't tricked in going to Kufa. He wasn't tricked. He already knew, he had khabar. His blessed grandfather had already foretold him. So how could he be tricked? This is just some scholars who have this nazriyat, who have this opinion. That how can Imam Hussein be tricked when he already knew, he had the khabar that his martyrdom was going to be in Karbala. He already knew of this. And the people who pledged allegiance of 40,000, Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil, when he was going to solve this matter, and it said that when he stopped to pray Salah, 12,000 people were with him. And when he stopped to pray Salah, he had turned around to straighten the sufuf, and only 500 men remained. Only 500 people remained. Why? Because they understood and they realized what Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil is going towards. They realized that Yazid, with his treacherous ways, is going to inflict pain on these people. They had realized this. It is said when Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil had finished his salah and did salam, the ulama mentioned that with him was only Allah and His Messenger. That's all that was left. People had left him. The people of Kufa had betrayed him. And now at this point, we're realizing that the people of Kufa they're not trustworthy. The other thing we're also realizing, and the common misconception that people have, is that there was no text messaging services at the time. This is something you need to realize. If something happened in Kufa, Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala wouldn't find out instantaneously. You know, there was letters that would be sent across, but them letters would take days and days. So at this point, Imam Hussein does not, this is something we need to understand and fathom, because the youngsters of today's day and age, sometimes they forget this. They forget that there was no camera system and there was no, text messaging services or phone call services that you can pick up a phone and instantaneously find out. If today one of our forefathers was to pass away in a different country, we would find out within the minutes. But that time, there was nothing like that. You know, khabar news was given after days, weeks, months sometimes. Because that's how it was. Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil, when going to settle this matter, because the leaders of Yazid had said to him that we will settle this matter, calmly. He had sent an army to Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil. Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil at the time was a very, very powerful man. And we realized the Ahlul Bayt, the entirety of the Ahlul Bayt, were very powerful and strong. That if it came to battle one-on-one, there would be no one that would be able to defeat the sons of the line of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That this was something which we even see within the battle of Karbala. Hazrat Ali Akbar, it is mentioned, the ulama mentioned that when Hazrat Ali Akbar went to fight, he was slaughtering the people like you cut carrots down. That's how he was slaughtering the enemies. And he turned and he said to his father, Ya Abati, give me one drop of water. Wallahi, I will demolish the entire army. You know, we are talking about the sons of the line of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are talking about the sons of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We are talking about those sons who have the blood of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We are talking about those sons who have drank the milk of Sayyida, who have drank the milk of the leader of all women of Jannatul Firdaus. We are talking about those men who were taught and nurtured by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who were taught to fight by the line of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tell me, are these going to be ordinary men? No, they're not going to be like me and you. These were the lines of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, subhanallah, about Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, that Sayyida Shababi Ahlil Jannah. This is just something beautiful that I was reading and I thought I'd share it with you guys. That Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, one day the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was conversing with the companions and he was giving a khutbah to them. And Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein walked in the masjid, in Masjid al-Nabawi. Remember, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein are those whose door would connect to the Masjid al-Nabawi, whose house would connect to the Masjid al-Nabawi. This is the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein walked inside the masjid. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stopped his sermon and went to go pick up Imam Hussein and Imam Hassan. Sat them beside on his lap. And whilst he was addressing the companions, he said, Sayyida Shababi Ahlil Jannah. That these two are the leaders of the youth of Jannatul Firdaus. These two are the leaders of the people of Jannah, of the youth of Jannah. Now, something which is interesting here is that the ulama mentioned that if an individual in the Hayat al-Zahira, in this world, he dies, then this title of leaders of the youth befits those people who have passed away from this world as youth. This is what some of the ulama have explained. However, the majority of the ulama, they say, well, that doesn't make sense. Because every individual in Jannat will be a youth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bestow them with this ni'mat of youthness. They will all become youth. You're not going to have a black beard. You're not going to have a white beard, sorry. Yours is going to be black. You're going to be back in your youth, your prime. So the ulama mentioned that this title of the leaders of the youth of Jannah befits every single ummati of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, apart from the Anbiya Kiram and the Malaika. That every single individual are from amongst the followers of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein radiyallahu ta'ala. So this is Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein radiyallahu ta'ala that we are talking about. Now, Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil, when he went towards this, I only have 10 minutes. I'm going to cut it really short. Because again, we've only started the Chronicles of Karbala. This is only the beginning of what the family of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein went through. This is only a glimpse of what the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went through. Imam Hussein, Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil when he went to try solving this matter, he had been martyred. He had been killed. Now at this time, when Imam Hussein had already left Madinatul Munawwara for Karbala, to solve this dispute, he had came across an individual. And he had met the individual, and the individual was Hur. And Hur said that I have been sent by Ibn Ziyad, and he is telling me to capture you. Ibn Ziyad again was from amongst the followers of Yazid. He had another disgusting individual. Ibn Ziyad was that individual who was bought out by Yazid. Ibn Ziyad was bought out by Yazid. He had promised him this land and that land and said, all you need to do is solve this matter with Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala. And again, Ibn Ziyad, it's mentioned that he was, he was a very intellectual individual when it came to war, when it came to battle. So for them, money was everything. For Yazid, money was everything. Fame was everything. This is why they say, "Wo taj to Hussain ke qadmon ki dhool hai." That kingdomship Yazid fought for, that's not even worth the dust of the feet of Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala. Because Imam Hussein did not care about monetary things. He did not care about the kingdomship. All he cared about was the deen of Islam. All he cared about was the Islam of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. All he cared about was the rida of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. All he cared about was the rida of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now Hur was from amongst those people who was a staunch follower and believer and lover of the Ahlul Bayt. So he had said to Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, please, if you entrust me, if you believe in me, I love you. There's a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that فَمَنْ أَبْغَضَهُمَا فَمَنْ أَحَبَّهُمَا فَقَدْ أَحَبَّنِي فَقَدْ أَبْغَضَهُمَا فَقَدْ أَبْغَضَنِي. That those who love Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, I love them. And if you if you approach distress towards Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, it is as though you have distressed me. فَمَنْ أَبْغَضَهُمَا فَقَدْ أَبْغَضَنِي. It is as though you have upset me. If you upset them, you have upset me. These are the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hur said, I am a lover of the Ahlul Bayt. I know what is happening in Kufa. I know what the people are like. Leave, go back with your family members. Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said no. He said, I have these khutuwat. Now I have left to finalize and to diminish this matter of deen. And I'm not going to leave until I finish this matter. Now, when Ibn Ziyad had realized Hur has taken too long, now Hur was obviously protecting Imam Hussein. And he was trying to, waste time. Ibn Ziyad then sent the hypocrite Shimr. The hypocrite and the disgusting, even his name sounds disgusting, I'm sorry to say. But Shimr was that person who stopped the Ahlul Bayt from drinking water. How can you do this? How is this even humane? Is this something you do? This is not war tactical. This is not something you do in war. In war, men fight with men. You don't cut off their supplies. We're not talking about anything to do with, sanctioning a country or anything like that. This is something else we're talking about. This is simple provisions such as water. This is water that Shimr had cut off for the Ahlul Bayt. This is the maqam where, whilst Hur has said to Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala, don't go. Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil has been killed. At this point, subhanallah, look at the faith of Imam Hussein. He couldn't carry his journey and he stopped. He said, my cousin has been martyred. His beloved cousin, Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil, who pledged allegiance that his last breath he would protect the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And within the 72 people was the daughter of Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil. It is said that she was at the age of 9. Imam Hussein looked up at the daughter of Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil and began to cry. And she said, the daughter of Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil realized that Imam Hussein is crying and he is looking directly at me. She walked towards Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu. She said, oh beloved uncle, why are you crying? Tell me, why are you crying? And Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he couldn't bear and tell her, a 9-year-old daughter who has just become an orphan. Can you imagine telling that daughter that your father has just become martyred? She sees Imam Hussein crying. She says, oh beloved uncle, tell me why you are crying. And she says, is everything okay with my father? Is my father okay? When she says them words, Imam Hussein begins to cry even more. She says, oh beloved uncle, tell me why you are crying. Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala, and he can't bear but look at her. He says, from today, daughter, I am your father and I am your mother. From today, Hazrat Ali Akbar and Ali Asghar are your brothers. And she then realized that she had become an orphan. This is the Chronicles of Karbala. The family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam are being martyred. They are being deprived from even drinking water. Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala, and he easily could have at this point taken the path of Rukhsa. He could have easily taken the path of Rukhsa and gone back. He said no. He said, this is something which is impossible. It's something which I cannot do. Now seeing that his cousin has just been martyred, he knows that these 72 people that he is taking are going to be in danger. Yet, he does not care for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, everything he had, he knew revolved around the rida of Allah and the rida and the happiness of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the reality. That your iman, everything lies between the happiness of Allah and the happiness of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Our day-to-day lives, how many of us think that is this something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be happy with? Is this something Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would be happy with? Imam Hussein wept when he was leaving the lands of Madinatul Munawwara. He actually addressed Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying, I'm not going to return to these beautiful lands, Ya Rasulullah. Ya Rasulullah, look at me go. This is something Imam Hussein was addressing Rasulullah with. You know, Imam Hussein knew that from this day forth, from this point onwards, that he is going to sacrifice his life for the deen of Islam. And not only for the deen of Islam, for me and you. Can you imagine Imam Hussein didn't do what he did? Would we still have Iman? No, we wouldn't. Iman would have been so scarce. Imagine the kingdomship of Yazid had taken over. Imagine the rulings of what Yazid was doing. You know, he was an open sinner, he was a fasiq and a fajir. It's mentioned in the Qutbi Ahadith. He would gamble, you know. He would allow his men to, you know, to do adultery. These are things that he permitted his men to do. Can you imagine if Yazid had taken entire power of the kingdomship? Would our iman be as though it is? It is? No. Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala knew this. He knew that this is not only for, you know, for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to protect the deen that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had brought. It is to protect the deen Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself protected. You know? So Imam Hussein, I'd love to carry on speaking
on this topic, but they say, Yar zinda sohbat baki. But my brothers in Islam, what we need to understand, my youngsters in Islam, my young brothers in Islam, these waqiyat, these narratives are not there just to be a part of history. They are there for us to, adhere to take lessons from, to implement the lessons that the companions taught us and implement in our day-to-day lives. We can talk about the martyrdom of Hazrat Ali Akbar. We can talk about the martyrdom of Hazrat Ali Asghar. We can talk about the martyrdom of Hazrat Muslim bin Aqil, of Imam Ali Maqam, Imam Hussein radiallahu ta'ala an. But the lesson is what we need to know. They sacrificed everything they had for us. They sacrificed everything they had so we can still have Iman inside us. This is a big thing. This is why we do dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He takes our life, that He takes it with Iman. This is why when we do the dua, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us death whilst we still have Iman. We do dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He gives us the ability to act upon the footsteps of the Ahlul Bayt. We do dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the ability to act upon the footsteps of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. There's another topic that I wanted to really speak about, is the love of the companions and the love of the Ahlul Bayt. And one day, inshallah, when we do have time, we will definitely, inshallah, speak about this topic. Because nowadays, even this has become such a topic where disputes of matters have arisen. How can there be disputes of matters when loving the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How can there be a dispute in matter when loving the Ahlul Bayt of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? We don't care about the Khawarijun. We don't care about the Rawafid. We don't care about the Aqaid. We care about the Aqaid of the Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah. We care about the Aqaid where every single companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is like a star. Yes. أصحابي كالنجوم بأيهم اقتديتم اهتديتم. That my companions are like the stars. Whichever star you follow, you will gain guidance. And the intellectual individuals here know that to navigate yourself, you need the stars. To navigate to anywhere. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam facsimilized the companions like the stars. That if you want to reach the end destination, which is what? Jannah, follow the footsteps of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And in another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said that my Ahlul Bayt is like a ship. My Ahlul Bayt is like a ship. Those who are on it will reach the end destination, and those who leave it will drown in the water. So again, we also know that we need a ship and we need the stars to navigate ourselves to get to a certain destination. We know throughout this life, this world, we need the footsteps and the teaching of the companions and the teaching of the Ahlul Bayt to navigate our lives towards falah, to navigate our life towards freedom, to navigate our life towards Jannah, to navigate our lives towards the rida of Allah and the rida of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This is something we need to understand. Again, these are topics which we will need hours and hours to discuss on. But my brothers, we spoke very little about the topic. This is the truth. We've spoke very little about the topic. But an individual like me who has, maybe one or two brain cells inside his head cannot do justice to the narrative of Karbala in such a short time. But what I can, as a student of knowledge, is show you the lessons that we need to learn from the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is something that I can do. And then I do dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us all the tawfiq to act upon the lessons of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We realize that Imam Hussein, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, especially Imam Hussein, in this narrative, he showed and displayed an immense amount of sabr.
Yes? An immense amount of sabr. You tell me, if an individual now, if a father, if a mother was to lose his son, if a father, a mother was to lose his daughter, what state does the individual fall in? What state does the individual fall in? Can you imagine that? Your pride, your love, a part of you is your son or your daughter. Imagine that's taken away from you. What state do you fall in? This is Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, where Hazrat Ali Akbar is getting sacrificed, and he is supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's saying, oh Allah, even accept this sacrifice. Accept this sacrifice of Hazrat Ali Akbar. Accept this sacrifice of Hazrat Ali Asghar. This is that Imam Hussein who is sacrificing his children for us guys. You know, I do dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have gone a little over time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me if I have made any mistakes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all of us. And if there's any questions that anyone asks, you can ask me. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulihil Kareem. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا اغفر لأمة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لأمة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وأدخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, we lift our hands today commemorating the lives of the Ahlul Bayt. Oh Allah, forgive us for our sins. For the sake of the Ahlul Bayt, forgive us for our sins. Oh Allah, we lift our hands in your presence, Ya Allah. Forgive us for any saghira and kabira mistakes we have made. Oh Allah, give us the tawfiq to act upon the footsteps of the Ahlul Bayt. Oh Allah, give us the tawfiq to act upon the footsteps of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Oh Allah, if there is any shortcomings from us, forgive us for the sake of the Ahlul Bayt. Forgive us for the sake of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Forgive us for the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We are nothing, we are not even worthy of lifting our hands towards you, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we lift our hands in shame. Oh Allah, please forgive us for our sins. Oh Allah, any shortcomings, forgive us for our shortcomings. Oh Allah, give us the tawfiq to seek the knowledge of the deen of Islam. Oh Allah, give us the ability to seek the knowledge of the Quran. Oh Allah, give us the ability to nurture our children to the right path. Oh Allah, give our children the ability to seek this knowledge of the deen of Islam and act upon this knowledge of the deen of Islam. Oh Allah, I lift my hands before you. If I have made any mistakes today, oh Allah, forgive me for my mistakes. Forgive us all for our mistakes. وآخر دعوايا عن الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله تعالى على حبيبه.
يا نبي سلام عليك يا رسول سلام عليك يا حبيب سلام عليك صلوات الله عليك طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داعي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيب سلام عليك صلوات الله عليك مجد بلانا مدني مدينة والے مائے عشق بھی پلانا مدنی مدینے والے تیری جب کے دی سلام علیکہ یا حبیب سلام علیکہ صلوات اللہ علیکہ
صلى الله على نبينا محمد وصحبه صلى الله عليه وسلم صلاة وسلام يا رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم